Hey guys, Rees Media here, coming at you with another new video. So today I want to talk about the Sony A7III. So this camera has always been a camera that I considered to be extremely reliable, so reliable in fact that I bought two. The one that I'm filming on right now and this one sitting here. But this one, unfortunately, has a broken shutter now. Now you might be asking, how on earth did that happen? Well, exactly 7 days ago, the team and I were covering an event where the A7III was one of the main photo cameras. I put the camera into high-speed burst photo mode. Everything worked out without an issue, but then all of a sudden, the screen turned black and the shutter wouldn't actuate anymore. I tried everything that I could to try to fix it. The camera said turn it off and turn it back on. It said pull out the battery, put the battery back in. I don't know, nothing was working whatsoever. So I decided to check behind the lens, and lo and behold, I noticed that the shutter mechanism had lodged itself somehow against the camera's sensor housing and became stuck, effectively bricking the camera for the rest of the shoot. Now this was incredibly disappointing because now we only had one other photo camera to work with, as well as some other video cameras and so on. But then again, this here is the A7S III. It's only got a 12.1 megapixel sensor, so it's not really a camera that I use for photography. Unless you've got a zoom lens or something that you're able to get really close and tight shots and so on, but it's nothing that you'd be able to use to resize and crop in post because you'll lose a lot of resolution. It's already got low resolution because it's amazing in low light. It's amazing for video, not photo. Funny why I'm using that to film instead of this, but that's besides the point. This has its own use case and use purposes. Now, this camera has upset me quite a bit, and the reason for that is because this camera is rated for 200,000 actuations. Not what it's sitting at right now, which is 40,300, I think. Yeah, about 40,300 or so actuations, and it's got a broken shutter. Now, that only leaves me with the electronic shutter to work with, and for anyone who does photography, you know that electronic shutter is not the best to use when indoors because you get lots of light streaks and banding. Now, where does that leave me with this camera? I can keep shooting with the electronic shutter mode, or if I want to get the shutter fixed, I can take it to an accredited or non-accredited Sony repair technician who will be able to repair it for approximately 600 Australian dollars, which I thought was a bit crazy considering. But then again, I did watch a teardown video because I like to do some of my own teardowns. And tearing this camera down, I wouldn't be able to put this back together. So I gave up on that. So for the time being, I'm leaving it as is and I'll see what I can do and see what my options are. But there is actually a class action lawsuit that may be launched for these cameras because this is a known failure that's common and occurs quite frequently for a lot of people. And according to the suit claims that the shutter on the A7III often fails between 10,000 and 50,000 actuations, far below the stated life expectancy of 200,000 actuations. The suit further alleges that the failure often occurs outside of the 1-year warranty period, forcing customers to pay $500 to $650 for repairs. Sounds a little bit familiar. So my biggest concern is I really like this camera. I like the A7 IV as well. And if I do upgrade to that camera, I don't want to run into the same issue where I can only expect to get about 30 to 40,000 actuations. The shutter actually started failing at around 30,000 actuations. And at that point, I didn't realize what the symptoms were because it would randomly start switching off. It would just have a black screen, but then when I switched it off then back on, it would fix itself again. So I didn't realize that that was, I guess, the precursor to full shutter failure. For those of you out there who are having similar issues, let me know in the comments down below what you've done about it, how much it's cost you to repair it, or did you manage to repair it yourself? Aside from that, let's take a quick segue into our channel sponsor, Globular Cluster VR. So Globular Cluster VR makes VR comfort modifications for your VR headsets. This one here is for the Quest 3, comes with a couple of features, one of them being a detachable battery on the top here. This battery is a detachable Anker Nano power bank with about 5,000 milliamp hours of battery. Now I've got a couple of these and they just slot in right here up at the top, and the headset just slots in right over your head like so. Any of the footage that you've seen of me using the cameras, etc., I don't actually take that with a GoPro. I used to. I take it with this now because the head strap allows me to do so. So what's the verdict? I definitely think that Sony could have done better on this one. I think that they should take this camera back and fix the shutter. So if I was Sony, I'd issue a recall just to help maintain relationship with our customers and maintain that we're looking after people, even with older generation cameras. I think that that's a fair thing to do.